Hey guys, what's going on? This is your TCT here. I I just want to say it's good to see you guys again. I was on vacation with my wife to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. Thank you. We had a good time. And other than that, let's just get right down to it. We're going to talk about a game that I've been wanting to review for a while, but this game has been so enjoyable to a point where I want to do another deep dive review and expression to how I really feel about it. This is Hell is Us. Hell is Us is an action adventure game that has been developed by Rogue Factor and been published by Nacon. The game follows Remy, a man who returns to his war-torn homeland in Hadia to find his parents amidst a brutal civil war in a supernatural invasion of monsters called Limbrick entities. He was sent away as a child and re-enters the country by joining the peacekeeping force, only to go rogue to search for his family and uncover the truth about the calamity that unleashed the creatures in the first place. The narrative is deeply intertwined with Hadia's violent history, which hints that humanity's cruelty is the one true hell of the story. What a hellish story it is. I wouldn't have came across this game if it wasn't for my good friend of mine named Curtis Price. Curtis Price, he's a lot like me. We like to be adventurous when it comes to trying out different games, and I didn't know about Hell is Us, so when he mentioned it to me, he know that I like survival horror, suspense, RPG like type of games, and he normally like to watch me play these games when I be doing my streams. And when I came across this game on a couple of game trailers and it was like teasing it a lot coming close to its release, it pulled me in. I was like, you know what, this game does look interesting. This game does look pretty fun. You know, and they didn't really give me much to talk about, and for me to like fetch on into the narrative of them teasing into the trailers, which I liked it. I thought that, you know what, you gave me enough to be aware, but not enough for me to be fully invested. So I played it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, these are one of these games that I rarely play games that I stick with. Normally when I play a game, I play like a couple of hours to it, and then I take a break and I play something else. Hell is Us was a game that I've started playing and I didn't stop. I didn't stop playing this game. I just stuck with it, even on my vacation trip with with my wife and I on anniversary. I took breaks to play this game too while we was like having some downtime. She watched me play it. She was enjoying it, and she is currently playing it as we speak. And this game was enjoyable, man. This game was a indeed hellish ride, and I'm very surprised that not a lot of people are talking about this game. But let's be fair, this game came out in October. This game came out in the month where a lot of games was releasing at this, at this narrative. So I can understand why Hell is Us could be missable, but this is why I'm here, to let y'all know that if y'all did not know about this game's existence, check it out. You will not be sorry. What I liked about this game and what really pulled me in more than anything is the fact that by this game being a survival horror, I'm pretty sure Rogue Factor wanted to go out that narrative by being more bold with a survival horror activity, because we've been there and done that when it comes to survival horror games. So they wanted us to give the narrative of just how deep in depth the story could be when it comes to human behavior and how it can all be taking place by hell being amongst us due to our own actions and our own emotions. I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of things like the inhuman activity, like the monster that we fight is mostly caused by the natures of our own well-being, and I thought that was beautiful. I thought that by that being the narrative of the whole story, and there's a lot more to it than that, but I thought that by this game being focused on just our own interactions, paying for it by seeing the consequences being held in front of us, let's see if everything will be worked in full play. The Last of Us did this when it came to nature being gone wrong with the cordyceps, but they went a wrong turn and ended up causing a lot of diversity when they ended up being more focused into politics and being more focused onto bad narratives that ended up throwing the whole story out the window. Hell is Us is not like this. They don't got no political shit at all, no woke bullshit, no subliminal messages. They did not focus on none of that. They wanted to focus on the apocalypse. They wanted to focus on the narrative of how you get drawn into the whole choreography itself. When it came to Remy, Remy's character is hard for me to explain. Your main character, Remy, he is a half broken and half balanced man. So he's on the verge of right and wrong. And we understand this because of how the story unfolds as we get deeper into the project. But just like how I mentioned in the headline, he gets exiled and he wants to come back to his family. He realized that all hell is broken loose. So by trying to find his family, he is trying to see how everything is going on in Haiti. Like, if there's any survivors in this outbreak, does he need to help them? Or if he's just trying to get the resources of his own. And by us playing as his character, we are given that choice. And this whole game is explained by him being interrogated. And I thought that was cool. By him telling us a story as we're playing the game and him being questioned by this unknown source, I was like, okay, so he's already being interrogated. So we just need to see how we can unfold the project as us making these choices. They wasn't lying when it comes to the atmospheric tone of this game. They don't tell you where to go. I thought this game was going to give me some type of narrative of what to do, but they didn't. Yeah, when the game starts off, you are already in this quest to try to find your family and just try to find any type of like signs of life. And they don't tell you how to get there. They don't tell you like what right obstacle to go to, so you don't know if you're doing a side mission or if you're doing like a Lenore course to just see if you can find any clues of where your family is located. The whole game's criminology is for you to trust your gut and just seeing where to go on your own narrative. And I think for a post-apocalyptic game, that's perfect. By you seeing how the whole area is, how fucked up Haiti is, you want to know where to go. You want to know, like, should I go to this area? Should I go to that area? But you come across survivors. You come across these weird lunatics. You come across the military. You come across law enforcement. And you come across people that have their own little beliefs of just what their opinion is when it comes to the apocalypse being held in place. And that's what I liked about this game, too, is that you come across these survivors that you can help. You have a choice to help these survivors, which can activate good deeds to help your whole narrative of your perspective have a clear view of your whole character, or you could just let them rot. But no, I was so invested with this whole game. I wanted to help everybody, and before I knew it, I spent way more hours in this game than I should. I spent like over 80 hours playing this game because I wanted to collect everything, and that's how good this game is when it comes to atmospheric tone. Every corner that you turn has a story to it when it comes to the characters, when it comes to the puzzles you solve, when it comes to the to the materials and things that you find. Everything has a story narrative to it. But I think the strongest thing that I've been coming across was the characters, of course, because each of the characters and the people and survivors that I came across with gave me certain intel of just how they really felt when all this was happening. Like, some survivors really needed help, and I had to find some resources that was all across the area for me to help them out and just be like, you know what, she did say she needed this for the baby, and I got milk right here. Let me go ahead and like, because I remember this. I remember her. So yeah, so you can collect resources for people, and they will give you like stories of just how they was before all this stuff happens. And some people really was rubbing me the wrong way. Like, there was some survivors that was telling me like they was grateful that all this was happening because they felt like this was a good opportunity for them to try to take over, to try to prey on the weak. And then there was some people, like there was like some cultists, or I would like to say some religious people that just thought that this was literally like the wrath of hand of God, of us really mistreating his just mistreating his nature of just how the world should really be. Yeah, you're gonna come across some fucked up survivors and people when it comes to playing Hell Is Us, but you know what? That's what makes this game so enjoyable, is the fact that it doesn't tell you where to go, but when you get there, there's something for you to experience. Let's talk about the enemies. A lot of people was saying that the enemies was lacking further variation. And what I mean by that is that people were saying that there should have been more enemy types. I did not mind the enemies at all. I thought that the enemies was getting stronger each time I was beginning to understand their move patterns. They came in packs, and if you get outnumbered, you will die. They have varieties of elements of how you can attack these enemies, because these enemies have varieties of how they attack you. They have certain waves of elemental, like powers that they can use against you, and it's kind of crazy because when I was fighting these monsters, it really creeped me out, especially when I was playing this at night and my wife was watching me, and some of the enemies would like attack in certain really like paranormal forms, like they would like swift and twitch and they would like try to hit you, and then they would like shoot out these barriers in their chest that would be like the entity of the whole core, and they would scream at you too, like, and I was feeling so like uncomfortable. I was like getting scared. I was like, holy shit. And yeah, like demonic activity, and I didn't mind it at all. I thought that the enemies there, like they was fearful, they was imposing, they was threatening, and each time I leveled up, and each time I found like new weapons for me to craft and for me to build and gain my resources so I can be prepared, I went to stronger areas that had stronger enemies, and I was like, they knew how to counterbalance the creativity of me being welcome to a new challenge, and I thought that was cool. But I will say this though. I will say that the issue when it comes to the enemy variety was the mixtures of how the enemy should be around. And what I mean by that is these characters, these humans that I came across with, I've never ever saw them came across the like the entities, the Lumbic entities, the enemies I just mentioned. I fought them all on my own, and I never saw them come across humans. You see bodies on the floor, like based on the art detail of the whole like layout of the game, but I've never ever seen no one shooting no guns at them. I never like see like them come across any type of bandit. There was no bandits on this game either. That's the other problem too. I would have loved it if I was witnessed all this mid-time. Maybe they may have it in some type of DLC that may come out. I hope it does, because the way how the game ended, it just ended abruptly. So maybe they may have that pretty soon, because even I keep comparing this to The Last of Us, but The Last of Us, the part one, had that same issue where the infected and the bandits showed up in two different formats. They wasn't merging. The only time they did that was when they had the expansion, Left Behind. So maybe Hell is Us may do the exact same thing. Maybe they were just trying to test the waters to see how the enemies was before they end up adding human activity. But I feel like for a post-apocalyptic game, you should have them merge, because they're already merging in the apocalypse. The game will drain you in a good way. And what I mean by that is that, again, I thought this was going to be a game I was going to take a break on. I was like, you know what, I played a couple of hours of it. I played enough of it. Let me take a break. But no, like, I spent over 80 hours of this game. I wanted to collect every single artifact. I wanted to like do every single deed. I wanted to do every single side mission. I wanted to interact with every single character. I wanted to see every single layout of the game. I kept going on YouTube back and forth just to see if I was doing everything right. And before I knew it, I was like already 80% of the trophies. So I was like, I'm gonna try to get platinum. I wanted to get platinum on this game. And this game really, like, I was really enjoying this game a lot. Like, Hell is Us is really one of the best games I played this year. And it's pretty much of a disappointment too, because again, like, this game would have a lot going for it if they would have practiced more on the lure, the activity of the interactions of the enemies interacting with the humans, And other than that, I will say this too. A lot of people too was also complaining about how Remy was able to fight, how he was able to like get the gear and knew how to use it. But again, he came back from the war, and then at the same time, he's like a sociopath. So as I was beginning to understand the game narrative, I was understanding his character, because even I was asking these questions. So I was like, so this guy gets this gear from this girl that died, and he ended up being a badass with it. But then I was like, oh, okay, he knows how to defend himself already because of what. So to be fair, they do kind of explain things a little too abruptly quick. They want to be more focused on the present other than the past. So I can understand it, but at the same time, I love this game so much to the point where I had to literally pay very close attention, especially when I was reading certain collectibles and pamphlets from survivors and even from his own family members telling him certain things about him and just how they did certain things around him, so it can all make sense to him. This game has a lot going for it of certain things that may be unanswered, but it is answered. It's all up to you if you want to pay very close attention of what this game is trying to offer in front of you. Overall, this game is great. This game is beautiful. I, again, have to thank Curtis Price for giving me this recommendation. If you're watching this video, man, hey, good kudos to you, man. people recommend games to me a lot, recommend me a lot of projects, especially Tavis Kelly. Tavis has been telling me a lot of good indie projects that was very non-skippable. But it's been a while since I've gotten this hooked on a project like Hell Is Us. And my rating, the game ain't perfect, and I really want to give it a perfect. I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A. I think an A is perfect. I don't have no problems with the game, other than what I mentioned when it comes to the lack of variety of mixtures of enemies. But other than that, I thought everything else was perfect. No map at all. You have a layout of the goal, but you don't know what resources and like what's more important. So that's what I liked it about the game too. That's what really pulled me in, man. Like, this game is so fucking good, man. I'm talking in circles. But that's it. That's really my deep dive on Hell Is Us. I hope my review is enough for you guys to check this out. Stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and videos. This is your TCT signing out.